Hi guys, and welcome back to another painting tutorial. So today I'm going to be taking you through how I go about painting the planets that you might have seen on my Eldar miniatures. So I'm going to be using Stegadon Scale Green for this example today, and then working up from there. So just keeping in mind, to keep your paints watered down, you just want to get a nice round base coat for this first step done. So you'll see what I mean in just a moment. And for this next step, you don't actually have to add this in. I just feel like it's a kind of cool little addition to the type, the style of planet that I'm working on. So it's just to give an effect of the planet emanating energy, like an energy field. So I've just gone ahead and done that, and we'll build that up progressively as we move on with the additional highlights. But now onto Sotek Green. And just to begin with, going to be working on that emanating energy again. And then as we progress, for this particular style that I'm going for, I'm going to fill in the entirety of the base coat there with the Sotek Green before we move on to the next step. And you don't have to be overly tidy with this process. Just make sure your paints are thinned down enough. Now I'm just going back to the outline of the planet, and again, just with a minimal amount on the brush, just want to follow the outline of the planet again. Just making sure you keep that shape nice and neat, nice and rounded. And then just ever so lightly, just move the brush around and start working around where you've just done the outline. And just throughout the planet as well. Now for this, I wanted this planet to be quite bright, and you'll see why toward the end of the video. Now that that step's done, I'm going to be moving on to Temple Guard Blue. And now this time round, I'm just going to be starting on the outline again. Just making sure you fill it in so it's nice and rounded, as I mentioned before. And now this is where you want to leave some of the Sotek Green showing in the background. So try and just, with, again, not much on the brush, just kind of start shaping out the landscape the way that you want it to look. And again, references are your best friend for work like this. Just have a look at a few planets, all different sorts, even if you just type 40k planets in, or, you know, planets from our solar system. And now, with even less paint on the brush than before, just going to start reworking that glowing effect again. And just continuing to add more paint to the glowing effect there, and just filling it in all around until you're happy with how that's looking. And now I'm going to be moving on to White Scar and Temple Guard Blue. Now, you want to be doing a 50-50 mix roughly of this. And again, just focusing on the outline. And as we did with the Temple Guard Blue over the Sotek Green, you just want to make sure that you leave some of that Temple Guard Blue visible, as you would with, you know, highlighting other miniatures as well. Just leaving that previous layer visible to the eye. And just adding a little bit more on the outer rim of the planet there. Now, if you have a wet palette, that's going to make all of this a lot easier. I don't actually have one, so I tend to just water down my paints a lot when I'm doing something like this, and just keep going back and forth between colors if I'm not happy with how a particular part of it's looking. And as you can see there, I'm actually just making the planet a little bit wider. Which you don't have to do. I just wanted to in this instance. And just blending those colors throughout the landscape. And again, just working that emanating energy. And now you can see that's really starting to come together with the landscape and the way the energy is emanating from the planet. It's starting to look pretty cool. Now on to the final step. I'm just going to be going pure White Scar. And again, this is an additional effect I'm just doing. You don't have to do this on your planets. You could just do the outline if you wanted to. I don't actually do it on all of mine, but for this one, I just wanted to show you how I'd go about doing it. So just getting a little bit working on the outer rim, and then we're going to be doing some lightning throughout the planet. Just making sure that the tip of the brush is just facing downward and really not much on the brush at all. You also don't want to water it down too much, otherwise you won't be able to get the lines as neat as you would want to get lightning. At the same time though, you don't want it too thick. So just try and find that happy medium. Just do a little bit of a test run on your palette just to see if you're happy with it. Happy with the consistency, I should say. But for this part, I do have it watered down quite a bit, again with not much on the brush. And I guess in a way, kind of a dabbing motion there. And just running the brush along lightly. Just so it blends off nicely against the colors that we've done previously. And just really take your time with it. The more time you put into something like this, a detail like this, the better it's going to look. And now just with that white scar, just going back to the energy, just ever so lightly, just really close to the edge of the planet there. Just start applying that in really, really small amounts. Just not a lot on the brush at all. And just keep following that around until you're happy with it. Alright guys, and that is the planet effect complete there. Now I have gone ahead and added a couple of other planets and my galaxy effects to that as well, and you can see how it all kind of works together. If you're interested in learning how to do the other effects as well, I do have videos on that I've done previously, the galaxy effects for example, and stars. So make sure to check those out, and that way you can combine all of these together. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you did, leave a comment, perhaps of something you might like to see me do next. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys.